economic crisis coming together is pushing people to the very brink of survival. People are selling their household goods, their carpets, their white goods, their Delft cups and plates to buy food. They are not eating every day. They are decreasing their portion sizes. They're eating less healthy foods. And many parents are foregoing food so that their children.
Ashraf Haidari is the Afghan ambassador to Sri Lanka. He joins us live from Colombo. Thank you for joining us, Ambassador. So many analysts have already said the Taliban is not set up to run a country, let alone take care of people's basic needs in times of crisis. To what extent can one say with confidence that the current desperation in Afghanistan is the fault of the Taliban?
Well, very much so. It's who brought up this situation in Afghanistan along with their regional state sponsor. Remember that Afghanistan had already been suffering from the adverse effects of climate change, COVID-19, and poverty and chronic internal displacement. So what the Taliban effectively did over the past 6 months dramatically added, unfortunately, to the adverse effects impacting civilian populations across the country and displacing hundreds of thousands of Afghans across the country through these extremely violent and destructive offensives that were resourced from outside of Afghanistan and our immediate neighborhood. So who to be blamed? The United Nations knows that exactly under the United Nations Charter, Chapter 7. The Secretary General knows that because we, the Islamic Republic, had been calling on the Secretary General to pay a visit to Afghanistan to see the situation for himself, has to have the Taliban, by abandoning the peace process and by reneging on their commitments under the Doha Agreement, brought about this humanitarian crisis that we are seeing today.
Okay, well, outside nations have already been incredibly generous, and now we see the EU raise its aid package to Afghanistan to more than $1 billion. G20 nations are meeting right now. We heard the UN Secretary General call on people to contribute more and more and more, but how much do you expect this to do? Is it ever going to be enough to solve those kinds of problems that we're seeing really come to a head?
Well, first of all, we remain very thankful to the international community, to the European Union, for continuing to support the people of Afghanistan. But exactly your point that this assistance very much reactive. For example, if you simply prevent 50% of any country's population from participation in polity, society, and economy, in this case, as you know, I'm talking about the Afghan woman. How can you ever expect that society, that country, to ever recover from such a crisis? So the Taliban, by excluding half of our population, violating basic human rights, as we speak, continuing to commit war crimes in areas where, of course, there is a total free press, a blackout, are perpetuating this. As a result, again, for what we see in the continuation of this humanitarian crisis, the Taliban, in exclusionary setup, as we know, 17 individuals in the cabinet are sanctioned by the United Nations, including one that is blacklisted by the U.S. FBI. So they're not into governance and rule of law, let alone economic governance, to prevent what we are already seeing as economic collapse with a direct impact on innocent civilians.
Yeah, such deep problems and so few immediate solutions. Ambassador Haidari, thanks for joining us.